Hi, it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching Stargirl Season 1, Episode 8, Shiv Part 2. We're going to see the fallout of what happened to Courtney in the last episode, the fact that she's really injured, and how is Pat going to explain that? She's going to be okay, I'm sure of that, but how is it going to affect her going forwards? And I'm just very excited. I've loved this season so far and I cannot wait to see where it goes next. So yes, let's go. If you want to check out the unedited version of this reaction, please check out my Patreon, where you can also request shows, and soon I am going to be starting doing a couple of new shows. There will be a poll on Patreon about which one to start, and then another show I just want to start. But yes, I'm excited, let's go. Oh dear. This is really upbeat music for the situation I imagine is happening right now. Is this the past or is this now? Or are we going to get a flashback? What is happening? Don't trust him. Oh my goodness, is he trying to say Courtney got hurt in a car crash? Oh, sweetheart. Let's hope this is the only time you wake up in hospital after a fight.
Hey.
This would make me desperately not want her to be a superhero.
Did you tell her?
We should tell her the truth.
Cindy Berman and her family.
Okay, good. So she recognised that it was Cindy. That is good.
For a reason, and with abilities like that.
But does Cindy know who she is?
We needed to figure out who was
Courtney,
in the ISS.
look at where you are, sweetheart. You need to wake up. You could have had teammates with you, and that would have been better.
We need to be honest. I mean, with your mom,
yep.
We can't keep lying to her.
You can't. Pat can't. He's married to her. I mean, their marriage will not work if he keeps a secret like this about his daughter.
I do, but
her daughter, even.
But we'll tell her. I found Stargirl.
Does she know who she is?
Dead.
Yeah, probably.
Probably is not what the ISA do.
You are so good at hurting things.
Stop.
They have a very bad dynamic.
I didn't. Our girl is still alive. Says the opposite.
Well, maybe she has hope for Cindy, like a glimmer.
Listening.
Cindy Berman sent Courtney to the emergency room today.
I get why they're
She's
angry.
trying to kill her.
So what should we do?
We break Cindy Berman's
Oh,
door
sweetheart.
down, and we take the bitch out.
That isn't the right way to go.
I'm mad too.
Good, Beth. Stand up for yourself.
Sit down and cool off.
Sweetheart. I know you're hurting, but just take a beat.
Beth's right, Rick.
Good, I'm glad.
Okay.
You are going to be a beautiful team and I'm going to love you all together.
I've got a plan.
Oh, listen to her. I love Beth.
A good one.
I love Beth. I guess Beth is becoming more assertive, more confident in herself. I mean, not that she was ever particularly unconfident in herself, but just, you know, she's going for it a lot more. I love it. I need someone to figure out he's got brainwave powers. I'm going to shut the door. She was just trying to be nice because Courtney's unfailingly nice and kind.
Made some Pizza Palooza bites. If you want any.
I can be sweet.
A little greasy. I'm really sorry.
Oh,
For what?
thank you, Mike.
That makes you my sister, and that's
Oh, Mike. Mike, this has been very sweet. This is a promising start for you. This is sweet. If they have an adorable relationship, I'm here for it.
Okay, so we need to talk.
He's literally.
I do, I guess.
I love the staff. I would love to have a conversation with the staff.
Pretty impulsive and reckless.
And Courtney is the perfect match.
But Courtney could have died tonight.
The staff is probably very sad about that. It's gonna light up as soon as he's gone. It was listening. It's just, you know, likes to mess with you. And it's feeling sad. Can I give the staff a hug? Is that allowed? She does deserve to know. I mean, I don't see how they can tell her because she would refuse, and I guess Courtney could sneak out a lot, but you know, like, she wouldn't be okay with it, especially now, but... And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but their marriage is unhealthy. Who is this guy?
Quite well for yourself over fiber and chemical.
Is it someone that killed his wife?
In the last 7 years?
I had nothing to do with that.
I don't think he cares, and also I don't believe you, but...
Are you crazy?
Yes, but he's also going to kill you. Ooh. Ooh. You wanted to go the full-on Icicle man. Are you pleased with yourself, Icicle? Does that make you feel better? He is losing. I mean, he's not. He's getting powers. But as far as he's concerned, does he think he's losing his mind? Don't let the Injustice Society know that you know, have powers. Or was that to his murder cupboard full of all of his murder gadgets? Or tapes? I guess if he figures out what's happening, he could manage the headaches better if, like, his dad was there to train him or whatever. His dad would be so proud. It's a good job he's not here.
what work? What are you
They
two
are
doing?
fantastic. Stealth
We're just keeping eyes
operatives.
on Cindy.
Where's Beth?
Knocking on the front door. Brilliant.
Eventually. I need lessons.
That doesn't sound like Cindy.
Please come in.
Oh god. These kids, you were in for it, I'm afraid, Pat. They are doing superhero operative missions without you. How does it feel? But heal, please.
Friends is here to see you if you're up for it.
Oh my god, is it Cindy?
Sure. Hi. I
Does
heard
she-
about the crash.
No, she's
Just
Stargirl.
checking. Don't really do this, like, ever, but
Sort of trying for Cindy.
I'm sorry.
I'm very surprised already by the fact that she said this.
Fake books. What?
Just buy, you're rich enough, just buy real books.
What do you do? What about you?
Nothing, she's
I'm
a
a mother.
slave.
Homemaker.
Nothing as important as raising a child.
Oh, tell me about it.
I mean, being a home housewife, there's nothing wrong with that, but she is not a happy one or a willing one.
Try again.
What is that?
Doing yes.
We gotta get out of here.
Just keep her busy while I find
Oh
some.
goodness.
Right now.
I'm stressed because, I mean, I guess if the dad's a snake man, he probably won't come into the main house very often, but Sydney might leave Courtney and come
I'm
home.
scanning the.
You really don't want to go down there.
Ew. Finally, Cherry. We're kind of similar.
How so?
How do you mean?
We both have staffs that
I don't
we
know.
use to fight super. Well,
Our dads.
Beth, this did not go well last time. There are cameras in here, my sweet. I mean, they know she's there this time, which is better than with Courtney, but I'm stressed.
Chuck.
Time to leave. You found a secret tunnel. Brilliant. Now leave.
Stargirl.
Okay, yeah, she did know she was Stargirl. I'm glad they both recognised
You
each
think
other.
after all this time we spent together, better rest up, Stargirl.
It explains a lot more about this
I'll be
interaction.
back. After I kill your friends.
Okay, maybe there isn't a shred we can reach onto here. Oh god, her friends are even in the house.
Should one of us go in?
Oh, sweetheart, they're busy now trying to fix the situation. You need to stay in bed and rest, okay? Stay in bed and rest, sweetheart. There's 4 of them.
In there, Beth.
Well, I gotta do something.
No, you don't. My love, Cindy's home. We found they've got a tunnel.
Find something that can help us.
What is she going to find? Is that a picture of her dad?
Chuck, who's he?
Her dad before he
His
became
name is
Snake
Dr.
Man.
Shiro Ito, most destructive of which
Her
were the
dad or her
Vasily
grandfather?
bombs, which spread plagues throughout China.
Connection to a dead war criminal.
They told you she was at the front door. Or the...
Got you.
She could have said Rick was below. Well, the picture's gone though. She's gonna find that suspicious, right?
It certainly does.
Oh, she's getting bold. This poor woman. I mean, potentially evil woman. Slash, no choice in the matter woman.
I think you guys are bad luck. Hey, you can't go around dressed like that. Come on, we gotta get out of here. Let's go. Come on, guys. Come on, let's go.
Courtney, sweetheart, they're dealing with it, okay? They're coming home now. Text Courtney and let you know how you're coming home. Or is the staff going to refuse to cooperate because it listened to Pat? Yeah, the staff's going to be like, no, you want to stay safe. And I love the staff. It is the best character in this show. And I love everyone else too. He's learning to control it. This is both good or bad, you know. I think it'll be extremely dangerous if the ISA figure it out first because they will recruit him and they will get him to become their brainwave. Yep. So he's finding out his dad was a supervillain. Oh, yep, Cindy.
Cindy will watch your son well. Cindy's very good at watching things. I'll alert you to any changes, and again...
So he knows now that
thank you
his
for the opportunity.
girlfriend is watching
With
him.
respect.
Oh, goodness me! Oh, I know after she made that threat and then they were there and then she didn't hear back from them, of course she's going to overreact. But this isn't the time. Oh my god! Henry is learning a lot tonight. Oh, Court, sweetheart, this didn't end well last time and you're still on your own. Is Henry going to do something with his brainwave powers? Oh, goodness. What's he going to do? Just blow them both up and not make a decision? Ooh. Well, they both know he's got powers now. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, fighting in the street with your superpowers is not what people would want. Your dad's not going to be happy with you. I do feel bad for her because, like, she has just been raised to become a psychopathic evil person. But, you know, she makes many more decisions like this and there will be zero feeling bad. Oh god. I mean, given that if Cindy doesn't tell anyone he's brainwave, oh, okay, someone knows. I was about to say, if the bad guys don't find out, then maybe we would be able to get through to him because he doesn't have his evil influence currently with him, but they know. Which is what they've been waiting for their plan.
He does have his father's powers.
He does. Ooh, I was enjoying that, okay, and there was a lot happening, and I think ending the episode there was offensive to me and everyone else that likes this show and loves this show, because let's face it, it is love at this point. Okay, so that was another brilliant episode. I'm glad that, you know, we saw the repercussions of, you know, Courtney lost a very significant fight. She got very injured. And I like that, you know, we saw that Pat took her to hospital and he came up with his whole elaborate plan for how to explain that she wasn't in hospital. And I'm glad that kind of we did see the repercussions of that. And then Courtney sort of began to understand, in the sense that, like, when Pat wanted to tell her mum, she was like, oh, I won't run off my own anymore, I won't be reckless anymore, but she literally has done that again this episode. And I mean, yeah, okay, but again, given who she is, I don't think that her doing that was too crazy, because she is very reckless. She is very much would risk herself to save everyone else. And, you know, I suppose she got that text from Yolanda being like, oh my god, Cindy, Beth's inside with Pat, and then she never heard back, which is, Yolanda should have called her back, but her thinking they might be in danger, especially when Cindy had left her room and been like, I'm going to hurt or kill all your friends first, would make sense. I don't know that Cindy is savable. I think while there is perhaps a glimmer of goodness, perhaps if she had been raised elsewhere, she might be a good person. I do think that maybe she's a little bit too evil, but maybe in the long run she could end up being a good person, but I'm not currently holding out any hope for that. I do really think Barbara deserves to be told, because unless she's gonna die at some point, which I don't want to happen, but obviously a lot of, like, YA moms die, it's gonna be pretty rough on her when she finds out. And if it takes much longer, you know, Courtney has now been severely injured in one of these fights to the point where Pat took her to hospital and he's still not telling her. Now, it's not even like they are both her parents. Like, you know, even if Pat had been her stepdad for the last, like, 10 years or something, it's not even like they are long-running parents. You know, he is a fairly new person in Courtney's life, he's a new person in their family life. She is Barbara's daughter, in the same way that if Barbara was taking Mike to fight clubs and not telling Pat, you would be like, what are you doing? So I get from the show's point of view, Barbara finding out would be very awkward because she would forbid Courtney from doing it. She'd probably kick Pat out, at least temporarily. You know, like, there would be a lot of heightened emotions, and I don't know that the show has time to deal with any of that. But at the same time, having Pat know is a weird dynamic. Because when you have shows like Teen Wolf or whatever, like, when the parent figure of the Vampire Diaries finds out about all of the mess going on, the adults in their lives haven't been involved. Like, when Scott McCall's mum finds out he's a werewolf, it's not like her boyfriend, her husband, has been letting Scott risk his life and not telling her. You know, I think that is a dangerous line to work on, and it wouldn't be realistic if Barbara gets over that really quickly. What would be realistic would be Barbara kicking Pat out. I don't know. So yeah, I'm intrigued about where that's going. I'm glad Pat has again brought up the thing of I want to tell her, and he seemed like he wanted to tell her something right away. So was that thing he wanted to tell her maybe his involvement with the JSA, and then he'll tell Courtney's later once he sees how she reacts. But Barbara does deserve to know, especially, I know they don't know the American Dream Project thing is evil, but she's working for the evil people. She needs to know. And then I really enjoyed Mike seeing this episode. You know, Mike, I make a lot of jokes about how Mike is a terrible child, and he is. He's a brat in a lot of ways, but I think this episode, and the last episode he had some really good points. Like, he was really sweet with Barbara, and then what he said to Courtney was harsh. Like, it was really cruel, and I'm glad he apologised for it this episode. But from a kid, you can understand that. And then this episode, him, you know, going out of his way to apologise to her, offering her his snacks that he just helps himself to, despite the fact that he's far too young to do that. But just being a really sweet kid and sort of saying he's glad that she's his sister, and, like, I really enjoyed their dynamic. And I hope we kind of get to see more of that as the show goes on. Maybe at some point Mike's going to find out they're superheroes, because I feel like he'd probably be more understanding of the time they spend together if it was superheroing rather than just daddy-daughter stuff. But I'm glad that kind of that was an important moment to show that Mike isn't a psychopath, which, you know, I'm feeling better about Mike now. Icicle is a psychopath, you know. I completely understand the impulse of wanting to kill everyone that like kills people, but you know, I can look at the current situation and see Boris Johnson has been responsible for thousands of deaths in this country. I don't want to murder him. I just want him removed from power and held accountable for what happened to him, what he did. You know, like. So Icicle is still unhinged. His son we still need to figure out. He still needs to get on board. But wasn't the dance supposed to be the next night? So is Courtney just not going because she's injured? What's going to happen with that? Or is the dance coming up? I assume we'll touch on that. Whether it's in a future episode, Cameron will be like, oh, you know, it's a shame we couldn't go to the dance because you were injured. But yeah, there was a lot more pressing stuff this episode than that. But it's more just, I want to know where his head's at. I want him to join the good guys. Also this episode, obviously we had Cindy knows she's Batwoman. Batwoman? What are we on about? Sorry, Cindy knows she's Batwoman. It's because I saw the news about the new casting of Batwoman. Cindy knows she's Stargirl. And that is a lot. Again, like I spent the whole last episode wondering, like, is she going to know? Because, like, you have shows like Supergirl where Kara essentially would be the same as me putting on a different outfit in a video, not saying, oh hi, it's Hannah and today I'm going to be watching Stargirl, and you'll be like, who's this new girl, where did Joy go? You know, it's that level of stupid in Supergirl. I mean, it's very much just a thing you take for granted. I remember once Oliver Queen gave a speech to the nation with his mask on, but the camera was right up on his face, and at the same time he was not only a famous ex-Playboy millionaire, he was the mayor of a city, and no one recognised it was Oliver Queen. So, you know, like, they do these things. But I'm glad that, you know, Cindy was able to recognise it was her, she was able to recognise it was Cindy, because I would have been ready to be, like, accepting the ridiculous not recognising people levels, but I'm glad they did. And even at the end, and I'll touch on this a bit more, Henry figured out from her voice that it was Courtney. But I'm glad about that, even though it's kind of terrifying. And I do just wonder about Cindy, because she's so desperate to be evil. She's so desperate to have her father's approval, to make up for having killed her mother, but to be this evil person that he wants me to have a seat at the evil table, that I don't know. As much as I think there is a tiny glimmer in her that could be good, that could be sweet, she is probably a little bit too far gone. Now, maybe given that she is a child, you know, they're all like, what, 15, 16, supposedly, I could, 15, I mean, maybe she's a little bit older, I don't know. I could see down the line, in maybe season 2, season 3, her seeing the light, her realising that trying to be someone for her father isn't right, etc. But where it is right now, I don't necessarily think we're going there. Maybe, I mean, I guess it depends on what punishment she's going to get, what repercussion is going to be for this. I mean, for Stargirl fighting her in her home, how does Stargirl figure out who you were? Because, you know, she's let the superhero know who she is, etc. You know, I don't think her dad's going to be too impressed, and the rest of the ISA are also not going to be too impressed with her. Is she, out of spite, going to continue to withhold Courtney's name because she wants to be the one that destroys her? Is she going to not tell them, although they know Henry has powers, because I was going to say, but would she have not told them about that maybe? Or would she have told them about that to try and prove her worth? I don't know. So I'm kind of concerned for her, but I also still hate her, so I'm not that concerned for her. Then we have Henry, and Henry has finally figured out he has powers. Now, you know, I don't like him whatsoever at the moment. I definitely see that there is a good person capable within him, but he has made a lot of terrible decisions recently, namely his treatment of Yolanda post pictures being leaked, his just being a horrible person at school, you know, like he's not made good choices. Now that doesn't mean I write him off, because like I said, for a lot of his characters he's a child, but I think it's interesting because when he got his, he raced there to want to see Cindy, he found out that his father had arranged for her to watch over him, I guess to see if he developed powers at school. Maybe he'd tell his girlfriend, the first person he'd tell if he got powers. But his dad was very toxic, you know. The couple of scenes they had together, even if it wasn't physical abuse, it really felt like emotional abuse, that kind of very toxic parenting. And now that his dad is not around, his dad is in a coma, and obviously we've seen that Henry loves him, that he wants to be there for him, but I mean, with parents it's really hard and messed up. Maybe, and like we saw that he did feel bad about what happened to Yolanda. Now, I don't give him much credit for that, because he didn't do anything to try and be on her side or help her. You know, if he'd just been with her and shouldered it all and been like, yeah, I don't know who leaked those, you know, we're in a relationship, of course she sent them to me, like, I'd send her one too. You know, kind of, if he was just kind of stood up for her, I would like him a lot more. Obviously he didn't. But I think there are glimmers of a good person, and the fact that during the fight he was very confused. He wasn't like, oh yeah, let's kill that girl. He didn't want her to be killed. I don't think he intentionally blasted them apart, but I think he was just a bit overwhelmed by the whole situation, by hearing these two thoughts in his head. But, you know, he needs to get a grasp of his powers. The danger is that the bad guys know about them. I think if he gets too sucked into them, maybe he will just choose to become bad. But at the same time, if he gets sucked in with them and hears all of their thoughts and hears them being like, oh, let's kill all these people, or oh, let's do this, you know, maybe the side of him that is good will finally win out over the side of him that takes the easy path, and maybe he'll become good. I definitely could see Courtney wanting to try and reach out or try and stop him going down that path, you know, especially if he's not as far down it as Cindy. God knows what Yolanda would make of that. But, you know, I hope she'll at least tell Pat and they can come to a decision as a group about what to do with him. I like that the rest of them did teamwork. You know, I completely think it was natural for their characters that Rick's response was to want to go and destroy Cindy because she'd hurt someone he likes, he cares about. That Beth had the very rational response of, we can't just do that, like, that is not right. Like, A, you can't just go and hurt someone, B, she's going to be far more powerful than us. Like, we still haven't trained. But so I enjoyed that they worked as a team, that, you know, they made the decision, they made up the plan of Beth going into the house and they were watching, and that even then when they were deciding, oh my god, Beth's not responding, what should we do, that Rick and Yolanda kind of were like, okay, yeah, like, we're going to activate our powers, we're going to go get her. Kind of, they, I think, made a really good team, and I'm enjoying seeing the starts of that. It would have been nice if Courtney could have been in the middle of it, but I think we're seeing the real beginnings of the potential they have, and I can't wait for it to be explored further. Pat's exasperation with these children is understandable. I would be feeling the exact same. They have not trained yet. They're rushing headfirst into missions without consulting him. That's why I think they need a proper training session. They need to sit down and talk. I think the first part of their training needs to be discussing the nature of the team, the hierarchy of the team, the fact that, like, they are inexperienced children, whereas he is a sidekick from back in the day. You know, he's been doing this a while, so maybe for now at least they should report to him and listen to him, just because he has the experience. And that doesn't mean if he absolutely says you may not do that, that of course some of them would still do it anyway. But I think they do need to do a bit more training and a bit more discussion of the group as a team. But we saw a lot of good potential for their team, a lot of how much they care about each other already, and I'm very excited about that because we're still very early days with that, and I can't wait to see it get explored more. So that was episode 8, so we've got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 5 episodes left. That's not too bad, we've got quite a few, that's good. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this show. There is so much potential here that they're already tapping into it, but I can't wait to see it get explored further. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to check out the unedited version, please do check out my Patreon. And yes, thank you very much for watching.